All right, everyone. As you can see from the title of the video, this is a message from the future. And uh, in the following video that you're going to watch after this one, you'll see directly this project called cutting off the lid. And in that one, I, I'm here. I show you after you've attached the top and bottom, and you'll see that there's a lot of cleaning you have to do on the outside. And in the following video, I might do a little bit of cleaning, but I mentioned that I want to cut off the top because it's getting kind of dry. And so I put off the cleaning until later. And as I was, cleaning that one after I cut off the top, I had to work with, two pieces because the top was already cut off. And I remembered that I prefer to work as much as I can when it's just one piece. So I'm here to tell you that you can clean it while it's like this before you cut off the lid. By cleaning, I mean, smoothing it out, basically, scraping off all this stuff here. And you can do that before you cut off the lid. And now that I'm back at the school, I can show you how that's easier to do. So I have my blue rib to help smooth out. I have this tool here. That's a scraping tool that you can check out for me with your ID. And I have the regular stuff, slip, water. I have this little sponge here that you can use. These little sponges aren't used to clean the table or clean off dry clay off of tools. You can do some little light cleaning as you're working and your tools start accumulating some clay on them. But if you want really hard, heavy-duty cleaning that you're used to, use the big sponge, because these little sponge cost just as much as a big sponge, and they give out much sooner. So I prefer you use the big sponge for that. And so let me show you how you can work with this. So even at the moment, I can feel that this is getting a little bit dry. And if I were to just clean it, or start scraping this down, smoothing it out, it would just get even more dry. And so in the video I say I want to cut off the top, and so I do. But since I'm at school, I have more resources here. So in this case here, in order to prevent my piece from drying out while I'm cleaning it, while I'm smoothing it out, I have one of the white cloths, and I'm gonna fold it up so it's a more manageable size. I'm gonna do that off camera. And also I have a spray bottle. So, I did just this in quarters. And I also have a spray bottle here. And I'm going to spray this just so that I guess it depends on how dry your piece is. If it's just not too dry, you can just lightly spray it. But if you can tell yours is getting pretty dry, you can spray it a little bit more. But don't get it really soaking wet. You can always get it a little bit more damp later. But this way, I can hold it, and as I'm working with it, I hold it with this damp cloth, and so I keep preventing it from completely drying out because I'm always adding just a little bit of moisture with this cloth here. I can also use my sponge here, wring it out as much as you can. And then just when you use these, just dab it. I mentioned in the video, when you wipe clay with this sponge, all you do is you wipe off all the fine particles and you leave the rough ones behind. So you get this rough texture in spots, and it's not very consistent. You don't have a consistent surface. So I'm not gonna do the full cleanup here just because I do that more in the later videos. So I've got it just a little bit damp. I can take my scraper here, and if you can see that, then I can run it along the sides especially these parts, to even it out. And that's not like a crack, really. It's kind of where I cut and the clay folded over. But if you do have a spot that's open, let me see, I don't really have any here. Let's say this part it just doesn't, let's say it doesn't look very well closed off. You can just get some slip, say on your finger, and put it there and kind of massage the slip in and soften up the clay around there. And you can kind of fill it in if you have any gaps. You can see here that it's kind of rough. I can add some slip here since my clay is just a little bit on the dry side. If your clay is still kind of wet, I guess, so first of all, be careful because it's going to be hard to work with. But in this case, I just want to get these small cracks out where it cracked, where I bent the clay around. Massage in some slip. It'll take some time because you need to soften up the clay too with this slip. I think slip is better to use in water because water just kind of decays the clay away, erodes the clay away. And then you can get your blue rib. You can go this way, you can go this way. And do what you can to smooth that out. And then, of course, go through with your scraping tool to kind of scrape it even. Okay, I won't show you the whole thing, but hope you get the idea. And even from here, you can start rounding off the edges. Kind of like with that hollow form, how you don't, remember like where we took two pinch pots and we put them together and we scored and slipped them together and smoothed out that seam. And remember how you could still smooth that out, paddle that ball that you had. And it's better to do that before you put the hole in it because it was good to have the pressure of the inside kind of pushing back on the clay as you worked on it. This is kind of the same way because it's still closed off. It's a little bit stronger. And also, the reason why I thought of this is because after I had cut off the top and I was cleaning it off and I had to hold it together, I remembered how inconvenient that was to have to keep track of two pieces. This time I still have one piece. So while I'm holding it and working it around, there's no lid that's gonna fall off. All right, so you can do a whole lot of cleaning, maybe even the majority of your cleaning and smoothing and rounding off edges while it's still one piece. But just remember to prevent it from drying out by using a damp cloth while you're working with it. And you can also you can even use a big sponge too if you want. You don't even have to use one of these little ones, but always just patting it down with a little bit of water. But actually I think the towel makes more of a difference in this one, but this is always an option. All right, now back to the other video. Thanks.